It's time for another video installment of the Metal Evangelist. My goal is to spread the word of true metal by preaching from the 5 gospels of heavy, black, death, thrash, and doom metal. This video is going to be my top 40 albums of 2016. I had done a top 30 albums last year, and I started whittling down the list this year, tossing back good album after good album, and I finally got down to 31, and I could not decide between 30 and 31, so I said, fuck it, let's make it a top 40. And yes, I think my top 40 is way better than Decibel's top 40. Fuck you very much, Neil Jameson, you son of a bitch. Leaving Vector out of your list, screw you. Anyway, I've got a bunch of albums, we got CDs, we got vinyl. We're gonna get right into it. This is counting down from 40. First band on my list is Hemotoxin with Biological Enslavement on Unspeakable Acts Records. These guys are from Southern California. This is their debut full length, and they play a mixture of death thrash on the technical side. They take a lot of influence from Death and Chuck Schuldiner, but they've got a little more of a thrash element to them. So that's number 40 on my list, Hemotoxin. Number 39, we got a vinyl. This is Spirit Adrift, some progressive leaning doom from, Phoenix, Arizona. You can kind of see, there's the full cover, there's the logo hidden in the cover art. This is actually a one-man project. His name escapes me, it's in here. Nathan Raleigh Garrett. He is in Gatecreeper as well. Here's the back. This came out on War Crimes and Prosthetic. It's a gatefold. There's the man himself, and you can see that. Pro tip, like I've said before in past videos, if you order something directly from an artist, especially if they're independent, just put a little note when you order saying, hey, can you autograph this for me? And 9 times out of 10 they do. So these are black vinyls, I'm not going to pull them out, but this is my number 39, Spirit Adrift, some awesome progressive leaning doom metal. And just to say a little bit about them, or him, this album, it's a double LP, as you can see. It's got some pretty long songs, and they sort of meander in the more slow and doomy parts, and right when they're about to put you to sleep, they'll hit you with a nice mid-paced riff and really get your head banging and be like, damn, that is a good song. So 39, Spirit Adrift, and the name of the album is Chained to Oblivion. Okay, next we have Scythia with Lineage. These guys are from, guys and female and girl, are from Calgary. They play a mixture of melodic death metal and folk metal. So there's growling vocals, and there's also some clean singing, very epic sounding. I got to see them live, and they put on a good show here in Minneapolis. They are an independent band. This is like their 4th album. There's the band members. And yeah, they're just some really good mixture of folk and melodic death. Scythia with Lineage, number 38. 37 is Dark Crypt with Delirious Excursion. This is a debut full-length from a band in Mumbai, India. This is also a self-released album. This is old school style death metal. This is not HM2 worship. It's more of the Floridian side of things. Here's the CD itself. This is just got some really kind of groovy, catchy riffs, good songs on this one. Great production, nice guitar tone. So Dark Crypt, Delirious Excursion is my number 37 album. Coming in at 36 is Shodan with Protocol of Dying. These guys are from Poland, and they play a more modern version of death metal, but not leaning into deathcore or anything like that. They have some really good songs. Sometimes they remind you of Behemoth. There goes the poster. Anyway, yeah, Shodan, really good stuff. They actually sent this to me earlier in the year, like, hey, would you want to review our album? I'm like, sure. And I had it, and I listened to it enough that I really enjoyed it. So, Protocol of Dying from Shodan is number 36. 35 is some thrash metal from New Jersey. This is Condition Critical with Extermination Plan. These guys just play some unrelenting, raining riffs down upon you, Exodus worshipping thrash metal. They've got guest vocalists from John Keeble and Tom Martin of Lich King on this one track here. And yeah, this one, it's got Andrei Buzikov cover art. It just is a total rager from beginning to end. This one's self-released also. So that's number 35 on my top 40, Condition Critical with Extermination Plan. Coming in at 34, got another LP here. This is Nightkin with Oath of Elucidation. This came out on Corpse Flower Records. These guys are from Detroit, Michigan, and they play some brutal but old school sounding death metal. This one, let's see, comes with a nice lyric sheet, and this is a clear colored vinyl, I believe. It's got this nice paper sleeve. I've not seen that often, and it's like a beer yellow clear vinyl. Really good stuff. Features some former members of the Black Dahlia Murder, current members of the Red Chord and Abigail Williams, and it's just a kick-ass death metal record. This is Nightkin, Oath of Elucidation on Corpse Flower Records, my number 34 album of 2016. Coming in at 33, some thrash metal from Finland. This is Unhoped with Sonic Violence on EBM Records. This is I wouldn't call it Slayer worship. I'd call it, at this point, they surpass Slayer. They play better leads than Kerry King ever will these days. I'll stop with the bashing there, but yeah, this is a hell of a good record. Great riffs, awesome solos, just kicks major ass. So, Unhoped from Finland with Sonic Violence, that's my number 33 album, 2016. Coming in at 32 is Construct of Lethe with The Grand Machination. This is technically an EP, but it's 7 songs long and they're really good. This is some pounding death metal, kind of like the good years of Morbid Angel in the early 90s, but just brutal as all hell. This is self-released. These guys are from Virginia. And here's the inside. It's not much to look at, but this one will tear your head off. So, Construct of Lethe with The Grand Machination. You can get this on Bandcamp. I should have mentioned this. A lot of these, I'm going to have a link in the description of this video where you can listen to all these, and you can, most of them are Bandcamp pages, so you can purchase the album there too. But check this one out for sure. This is some really awesome, great production, underground death metal. Coming in at 31 is Mountain Grave with Massive Structural Collapse on Horror, Pain, Gore, Death Records. This is a band from Lafayette, Indiana. They play kind of a more thrashy style of death metal, but I wouldn't call them death thrash. They've kind of got a vocal attack where there's the really guttural vocals and then there's also the kind of high shrieks at the same time. But this is one where I heard it, I got it, I forgot about it, listened to it again, and I'm like, oh yeah, this needs to be in the list. So, Mountain Grave with Massive Structural Collapse is my number 31 album, 2016. Coming up next, we got an LP. This is Striker with
Stand in the Fire. This is a self-released album. I believe it's their 4th full length. And they've got a pre-order up for a 5th already this year. They're going on tour in February and March. Hoping to see them in the Twin Cities. Coming up soon. This is bright orange splatter. Look at that. That is some awesome stuff. These guys are from Edmonton, Canada. I think I mentioned them in a past video, but they play kind of a slick Sunset Strip style heavy metal, not glam, but soaring vocals, great choruses, awesome hooks, and this first track, Phoenix Lights, is one of the best songs I've heard in a long, long time. So, Striker, Stand in the Fire, number 30. These rankings, this should probably be higher, but you know, there's so much good stuff that I like. Anyway, it's my list, I like it all. Don't take the rankings that seriously until you get to like the top 10. But yeah, Striker, Stand in the Fire, number 30. Coming in at 29, we've got Wild Hunt with Descending. This is some speed metal, bordering on thrash, bordering on progressive thrash from Austria. 3 guys, Metal on Metal Records, and this is one that I just listened to the songs and I'm like, yeah, that's an awesome riff, that's an awesome song. Couldn't get this one out of the car CD player for a while. It's got Pablo Girardi cover art, which is a big turn on for me anyway. So this is my number 29, Wild Hunt with Descending. Coming in at 28, we got some Swedish death metal from Interment. Scent of the Buried. This one came out on, well, the vinyl is Cyclone Empire and Pulverized Records. The CD came out on Dark Descent. That's the CD too. But this is some just devastatingly heavy, old school HM2 death metal. And these guys are not copycats. They were there back in the early 90s with Thomas Skogsberg in Sunlight Studios making awesome death metal, and they use the same formula, and it is heavy as hell. This is a red vinyl. So, Interment with Scent of the Buried comes in at number 28 on my top 40 of 2016. 27 is First Fragment with Dyson. Not sure if I'm saying that right. This is some technical death metal from Quebec. Technical and progressive, I would say. Came out on Unique Leader Records earlier this year, and this is not your run-of-the-mill, let's just sweet pick and go brie and, you know, that kind of stuff. This is like neoclassical influenced death metal, like the bass even plays riffs. It's just some amazing stuff. Features guitarist Phil Tungus, who is one of the best players in death metal today. This is actually a double LP, but not a gatefold. So one record is blue, and the other one is red. And yeah, picture of guys. So First Fragment, if you are one of those people that think, oh, I don't like that technical death metal, it's just all noise and 100 beats per minute and complete wankery, this is not that. This is fucking awesome. Dyson is my number. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to mention. You guys are from Quebec. All the lyrics are in French. So, pretty cool stuff. Doesn't matter with death metal, you don't have to sing along. But that's my number 27. First Fragment. 26. Progressive extreme metal from Ancients. This is Voice of the Void. Out on Season of Mist. These guys are from Portland, Oregon. And if you like bands such as Mastodon or Chemist, but you also like some melodic death metal mixed in, these guys are for you. Yeah, I believe this is just black vinyl, double LP. But when I first heard the first song of this late last year, called Following the Voice, I was like, holy crap, this is great stuff. I gotta get this on vinyl, especially with this cover art. So that is my number 26, Ancients, Voice of the Void. Coming in at number 25 is Obscura with Acroasis. This is some more progressive and technical death metal from Germany. You're probably familiar with Obscura, they've been around for quite a while. I'm not super into their earlier albums, I haven't listened to them a lot, I do have them, but this one is really good. There's a lot going on here. It's almost like storytelling with the music. Not every song sounds the same. One of the final tracks is like 15 minutes long or so, and it's got symphonic orchestration in it. It kind of takes you on a journey. So this one came out on Relapse Records early in 2016, but this is one of those ones where I listened to the tracks individually and kind of ranked them, and I went back and I was like, oh, I liked all of these. So I went back and listened to the whole thing, and I'm like, yeah, this needs to be in my top 40. So this is Obscura with Acroasis at number 25. 24, we have some death metal legends from Peru. This is Mortem with Dinios Necromentis. These guys started in the early 90s, put out 3 or 4 really good death metal albums, kind of in the Morbid Angel camp as far as style. And this one came out on Iron Pegasus Records very late in the year, but that's why I tend to like to wait until after 2016 is over to fully digest everything that came out before I make my list. Decibel. Yeah, Mortem, this album is just freaking awesome. So that is my number 24 of 2016, Mortem with Dinios Necromentis. Let's see, 23, Cauldron in Ruin, some traditional heavy metal from Toronto, Canada. Got to see these guys on tour early last year, and they're really good. This came out on The End Records. Some pictures in there. Just straight up good heavy metal, no shrieking vocals, lots of melodies in the guitar work, but some really great riffs as well. This one, it takes a little while to grow on you, but this one's great. Cauldron in Ruin, number 23. Alright, coming in at 22 is something really special. This came out very early in 2016 on Unspeakable Acts Records. It is a split full-length called Four Doors to Death. It features 4 bands: Sabotory, Ectovoid, Cemetery Filth, and Trench Rot. And it comes in this awesome slipcase that has 4 different cover arts on the front and the back. And when you look at the CD, the back talks about all 4, but there's an individual booklet with full cover art for every band. So that one's Sabotory, this one's Ectovoid. There's about 3 songs for each band, and they're just really good. This one is Trench Rot. Trench Rot actually features a death cover, Evil Dead. If you're not familiar with Trench Rot, you should be. They Asphyx worship. And then, yeah, the front one, here's Cemetery Filth. That's their cover. This, I mean, if you like death metal that's not repetitive, I don't know, this one is just freaking amazing. So, Four Doors to Death from Unspeakable Acts Records. That is my number 22 of 2016. Coming in at 21 is a band I discovered late in the year thanks to Bandcamp. They're called Oliphant. This is Expedition to the Barrier Peaks, and these guys are from Salem, Massachusetts. They play heavy metal, but I wouldn't call it traditional heavy metal because they take a lot of influences from doom and more, well, now I'm drawing a blank. You're gonna hear influence from like anything from Candlemass to Manila Road to Black Sabbath. They kind of like to throw a lot of things in, but not in the same song. So like from song to song, you'll hear a few different elements here and there, like some organs or some, I can't remember. It's been a while since I listened to it, but this one is really good. It's kind of feels like a concept album when you listen to it. So go check them out. Oliphant Expedition to the Barrier Peaks is my number 21 album of 2016. Coming in at number 20 is a comeback from Florida's Brutality. This is Sea of Ignorance. And today was Inauguration Day, and this was very foretelling when it came out back in February. It's on Ceremonial Records, which is the band's own imprint, and then Repulsive Echo put out this vinyl, which I was actually lucky enough to win this vinyl in a contest they had. It's limited to 1,000 copies, and I think, yeah, it's the black. It's the black vinyl. But this came out earlier in the year, and I was very impressed. Brutality had put out, prior to this, like a 2-song EP with all the original members, and it was really good. Oh yeah, the Digipack version too. This is the one I bought. It was really good. I had high hopes for this, and they did not disappoint. I mean, there's some really awesome riffs on here. I mean, you just look at these images, and that's what the music feels like. Death, destruction, despair. It talks about, you know, plagues that destroy humanity, kind of. And there's also, at the end, there's a Bathory cover of Shores in Flames. It's like 9 minutes long. So this is a really cool record. That's my number 20 album of 2016, Brutality with Sea of Ignorance. Coming in at 19 is everyone's favorite awesome band that they love to hate is Chemist with Hunted. This came out on 20 Buck Spin Records, and it's their second album. First one got a lot of good reviews, so there was a lot of, I don't want to say hype, but build up for this next record, and I don't think it disappointed at all. This is doom metal that's got a little bit of extreme elements in it. This is just the black vinyl. I didn't jump on the fun colors, but these guys are from Denver, Colorado. There's this awesome little 7-inch booklet for the lyrics with more artwork. There's a full scene of what's happening. But yeah, Chemist, some really good doom metal, some long songs, great riffs, awesome melodies, and they'll throw in some kind of brutal vocals from time to time. So that's my number 19 album, Chemist with Hunted. Moving on to 18, another one that I heard a little bit later in the year. This is Mithras with On Strange Loops. These guys are from England. This was released by, I can't remember what. Oh yeah, Willow Tip. It's very small, you can't even see it. Other than the front cover art, there's not a ton going on with this one. But this is some progressive death metal that's just kind of like assumed to be masterpiece. Another one that takes you on a journey when you listen to it all the way through. If you're not familiar with Mithras, they're more of the ethereal and spacey Morbid Angel camp of death metal. So that's my number 18 album, Mithras on Strange Loops. Coming in at 17 is Eternal Champion with The Armor of Ire. These guys are from Texas. This was released by No Remorse Records. This is the first press of the CD that's sold out. I hear there's a vinyl of it coming. I might get that. But these guys play traditional heavy metal with just great riffs and soaring vocals and awesome melodies. It doesn't get much better for traditional heavy metal than Eternal Champion. And I'm wondering why this is only number 17, but it is. Coming in at 16 is Hyperion with Spherical Euphony. These guys are melodic blackened death metal from Sweden. This came out on Black Lion Records. This is the first press of the CD. There is a second press, and you can get this. It's readily available. These guys are heavily influenced by Dissection, but they don't sound like a clone. I would highly recommend picking up Hyperion, or at least going to listen to it if you're into Dissection. You will not be disappointed. That's my number 16 album. Number 15, Kvelertak with Nattesverd. These guys are from Norway. It's hard to describe how they sound because they have so many influences, but I try to narrow it down to blackened punk and roll. So they have eightfold. They have kind of a black metal-y, shrieky kind of vocalist, harsh vocals, but then the guitar tone sounds like it's from like the late 70s, and they've got kind of punk beats on the drums and bass, and it just kind of all melts together into some awesome songs. So I just found myself kind of, nodding my head and tapping along every time I put this one on. Oh, and I gotta point out too, take some of these out. They have these fancy jackets that say that it's for side A and B, but the double LP, one is blue, and the other one, is white. I've been seeing this a lot lately, is the double LPs have two colors. Kind of like that trend. So that's my number 15 of my top 40, Kvelertak with Nattesverd. Gently put that back. Coming in at 14, this is amazing. This is Woad, self-titled. This is some ridiculously good black metal from England, released by Broken Limbs Recordings. And I got this one early in 2016. I doubt you can get this on vinyl unless you repressed it. I haven't looked that up, but if you're into black metal, you need to check this out. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, it's great riffs, good atmosphere, not lo-fi production at all, but really just, I don't know, the cover art is so foreboding. The album feels like you're wandering around in this evil castle and you can't get out. So, awesome stuff from Woad. That's my number 14 album. Alright, coming in at number 13, we got another LP. This is Spellcaster with Night Hides the World. This came out on Prosthetic Records back in the spring, and this is some awesome traditional heavy metal. Just so many riffs, so many good leads. They don't have the soaring high vocals, they just have kind of your traditional, I'm singing, I'm not growling, but I'm not gonna, sound like Bruce Dickinson or anything. So these guys are from Portland, Oregon. Back in there. And I believe, oh yeah, this is cool. This is a purple marbled vinyl. I ordered this one early on. I think it's their third album, maybe their fourth. But it's their first one on a label, and they do a great job with it. So, Spellcaster, Night Hides the World. That is my number 13 of 2016. Okay, that's out of order. It's okay. Coming in at number 12, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, Cathilist with Le Dernier Crepuscule. Yeah. This is an amazing technical death metal album. that is influenced by the likes of Dimilik and Dimilik Alone. Came out on Dark Descent Records and Profound Lore. Got the CD too. And this, I mentioned before, Phil Tongas. Is that right? I think that's right. Bear with me, folks. Yeah. Plays in First Fragment. He also plays in this band. And when I first got these, I thought they were black vinyl, but they're like a smoky swamp green. You have to hold it up to a light to be able to see it. You can kind of see it there. Double LP, not a gatefold. Really great death metal. They've got songs about The Legend of Zelda, so if you're a geek like most of us metalheads are, you're going to want to check that out. So that's my number 12 album, is Cathelist with Le Dernier Crépuscule. That's as best as I'm going to do. Coming in at number 11, Grace Disgraced, with a funny title called Lasting After Death. This is some ridiculously good death metal from Moscow, Russia, that sounds like it belongs in the death catalog somewhere between human and individual thought patterns. I mean, there are some ridiculous riffs, some awesome bass, great vocals on this. This is one that I hope people will go check out after watching this video, because this really deserves some praise. Grace Disgraced. Every song is awesome on this one. So go look them up on Bandcamp. I got these from Russia. They got 2 other albums that are good too, but this is the new one and it rips. Lasting After Death is number 11. So we're getting down towards the end. Top 10 is next. How about some death metal from Iceland? This is Zrine, or Zrine. Uno, I didn't practice this one. Unor Theta, excuse me. Haven't had this one that long. It's from Season of Mist, and this is kind of blackened death metal, black death, kind of, you know, skirts the boundaries there. Cool gatefold. It's just a black vinyl, so I don't really need to. Yeah, I'll show you that. Don't really need to pull it out, but I first heard this one. This is one of those ones that people were complaining on Decibel's list, like, why isn't Zrine on your list? Why isn't Zrine on your list? And I'm like, I should go fucking check out Zrine. And holy shit, it's awesome. I think I tried to listen to it earlier in the year and I just wasn't in the right mood. And I put it on while I was doing something at work and listened to the whole thing, which just blown the fuck away. So this, just not quite progressive, maybe a little bit, just lots of riffs, great atmosphere on this one. Black and death metal, Zrine with Unoreta. This is my number 10 of 2016. Coming in at number 9, we have some more black metal. This is Uada with Devoid of Light. And this is the first press LP. It comes in this awesome slipcase. Has this as the main artwork. You can see it with the light. Sorry about that. And this one has the band. They're from Portland, Oregon. They're always standing in front of trees. And I do believe, oh, this is just black. I think there's a gray vinyl out, but this is black. So they were supposed to play that festival in Quebec earlier this year, or last year. It got canceled because of some bullshit that was going on. And they put out a request on Facebook saying, you know, we ordered all this merch that we didn't get to sell. There's a poster in here too. So if anyone wants a t-shirt, could you please help us out and order some? And the next day, they're like, we sold out of shirts and we need to order more. And they also said, hey, we got some vinyls left. Do you guys want any vinyls? I'm like, yes, I do. Uada. These guys are gonna blow up big. They're the answer to last year's Magla album, I'd say. Just great riffs. They're black metal that take influence from like the first wave, more the Hellhammer, Celtic Frost, Venom style, but also there's some, you know, Dark Funeral in there as well. And the LP that I'm showing off, that one actually came out later in the year. Yeah, Eisenwald out of Germany put this out. And what they first put out was a CD that I picked up. It has that same slipcover. Only the first press of 500 has a slipcover, the second press does not, so be jealous. Anyway, that is my number 9 album. It's Uada with Devoid of Light. Number 8 is Ostrakhan with Reward in Purpose. This is some progressive sludge doom metal from Vancouver, Canada, out on War on Music. They released this digitally earlier in the year, and then War on Music said, hey, I want to put that on vinyl. And I said, hey, I want to buy that. So these guys just, if you liked, like I said before, Mastodon and also Ancients, you will like this band. This was on black vinyl. Not a lot of growls, if at all, on here. Maybe some shouting vocals. Not singing per se, but clean vocals are on this one. But just lots of riffs, lots of cool things going on. Ostrakhan with Reward and Purpose is my number 8 album of 2017. Coming in at number 7, Hometown Heroes from Minneapolis. This is Pestifere with Hope, Misery, Death. This came out on Iwas Recordings, and this is some ridiculously good blackened death metal or death and black metal, however you want to spin it. They have great riffs, good vocals, nice atmosphere that's created with everything. I keep saying the same stuff, but I guess that's what I like. So some of them are similar. Pestifere, Hope, Misery, Death. Got to see these guys live. They are really good. And this is another kind of sleeper album from 2016 that probably not a lot of people picked up, but you should definitely check out. That's why it's number 7 on my top 40. Pestifere, Hope, Misery, Death. Coming in at number 6, this one is just a beast of an album. This is Scorched with Echoes of Dismemberment on Unspeakable Acts. Some death metal from Delaware. These guys worship at the altar of autopsy, but they also throw in some more melodic soloing, just crazy riffs here and there. As you can see, it's a horror-themed album, as the cover art would suggest. And I am hoping that these guys, I know some of them have families and kids at home, but please go on tour. Please. Scorched is amazing. And they've been putting out some EPs and some splits, and they finally put out this full-length album, and it is a crushing, massive death blow to your skull. So if you have not listened to Scorch, do yourself a favor and fucking just buy it, put it on, and rock the fuck out. So Echoes of Dismemberment, number 6 on my list. Coming in at number 5, another one that came out early in 2016, Chilean thrash from Ripper. This is Experiment of Existence. Again, more amazing Pablo Girardi cover art. This one came out on Dark Descent and Unspeakable Acts. I got the CD too. This is the vinyl version. Just amazing, kind of technical thrash metal, sort of in the sadist vein. The bass player plays a fretless bass. There's just riffs everywhere. There's some Sepultura influence, of course, but Ripper with Experiment of Existence, number 5 in my top 40. Getting down towards the end here. I'm glad, because this is a lot of talking. Sorry about the sniffling. Number 4 on my list, from Milwaukee, Utkiaru with The Plight of Wanderers. This is a self-released album, came out in summertime, and I've not been able to get these songs out of my head for the life of me. I was lucky enough to have Utkiaru play a show that I had put together recently, and they did a great job on it. One of their, maybe only their 4th or 5th show they played live, and they did good. The backers. Just to explain how they sound, they're kind of an amalgamation of things. They're not quite black metal, they're not quite post metal, and they're not quite melodic death metal, but they borrow sounds from all 3 of those different genres. It's 3 guys, Zach, Noel, and Dustin, good dudes. And yeah, this is my number 4 album. Go check it out on Bandcamp. I think you can download it for free, but once you get hooked, do them a favor and pick up the CD, A Plight of Wanderers. Alright, top 3. This should not be any surprise. Blood Incantation with Starspawn. My only complaint, and the only thing that I'm using to justify this being at 3 and not 1, is that it's not fucking long enough. But that's it. Just ridiculous riffs, amazing atmosphere. You become the fucking Stargate when you listen to this. Of course I pre-ordered it and got the red version. So this is one of those bands, if you think like, oh, they're everywhere, there's too many people talking about this, it must not be good. Fuck you. Okay? This is a soon-to-be, if not already, classic death metal album. Drop the mic. I mean, fuck it. Starspawn, Blood Incantation, number 3. Coming in at number 2, one of my personal favorites, Nucleus with Sentient. These guys are from Chicago, and I was very lucky to have them play the Evil Roar benefit show that I mentioned earlier. They drove all the way up from Chicago just to play my show, and yeah, I think the crowd was very receptive to them. This came out on Unspeakable Acts Records, Dark Descent as well, and I don't know if you noticed, but fucking Dan Seagrave did the artwork, and it is amazing. Simply amazing. This is old school technical death metal in the vein of Dimilik and Adremalek and all those other lick bands from Finland. Had the CD for a long while, and finally the LP came out. I got orange. There's also a green one floating around. Oh, I'm sorry. How does that say? Misako un Ojo. And Unspeakable Acts put out the vinyl. Dark Descent helped with the CD. But there's orange, there's awesome orange, there's green, and there's black. And there's not many of any of them, so yeah, every time I listen to this, I end up listening to the whole thing. Nucleus with Sentient, my number 2 album of 2016. Go get it. Coming in at number 1, now that you've seen 39 other albums, and I already mentioned it, number 1 is Vector with Terminal Redux. And there's a couple reasons why this is number 1 for me. First of all, Vector's an amazing band, and we've been waiting almost 5 years for album number 3, and there was a lot of anticipation for this album to come out, and when you have a lot of anticipation, you can get let down when it's not as good as you hoped. And that is not the case with this. Terminal Redux has some of the most ridiculous progressive thrash riffs, solos, lyrics, vocals, everything you could want. It's the total package. It is a little long. See my comments about Starspawn, about things being long, and you'll see why this is number 1. Unfortunately, you probably heard that most of the members left except for Dave DeSanto. He's going to carry on. He's going to have a hard time recruiting new members that are as good as these guys were. So, amicable split, but I don't know, this was just a hell of a good album. Oh, I think there's some colors. You want to see the colors? We're almost done. Why don't we throw in some colors? Double LP, because it's so damn long. Oh my god. Blue. I got the blue ones. Came out on Earache. Earache lucked into this band when they bought out Heavy Artillery. That's all I'm going to say about that. So that is my top 40 albums of 2016. I hope you will take it upon yourself to look up some of the stuff you've not heard of and listen to it and hopefully become a fan of it. That's the whole reason these lists exist, is to promote the bands. And that's why I do what I do as the metal evangelist. And I also do that on my radio show Roar of the Underground on kfai.org. You can hear all these bands and tons more. Every Thursday a new episode comes out. It's a web exclusive on-demand program. Go to kfai.org and you can hear it anytime. So thank you for making it this far in the video. Until next time, denounce all gods and worship metal.